And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Mark Quirky. One day closer to victory for all of our brothers and sisters, both on and behind the lines in occupied territories. This is a basic rule when you're dealing with a lot of different units. I've dealt with this for years. When you're dealing with a lot of different units, what you do is you give each one a quadrant of control and have them operate within their area under their own experience. Now, you still have to give some basic guidelines because you got to be able to control and move the operation accordingly. But the basic rule is not that you spread everybody out around and everybody's overlapping with each other, which creates nothing but confusion.
Not only that, it lets, like, provocateurs in or whatever that, because if everybody doesn't know everybody, you could have anybody with,
absolutely,
pick up a weapon and some, some deuce gear and slip into the group and then start popping at the marshals or whoever the hell they are down there, and that's all you need to start it off.
Well, and if that does happen, I figure that's the same way as Lexington. If that's what starts it, that's what starts it. See, everybody should have the reverse attitude. If they're stupid enough to have that happen, well, I guess we're going to war across the country because it won't just stay right there.
I was wondering
that's
about
why
that.
I don't, this is where, again, this is what we need to be talking to. There's a bunch of other programs doing this. Well, the militia's showing up, so here's the provocateurs. It's like, yeah, okay, whatever. Wow, going to be cool, isn't it? If I were the bad guys, I'd get worried because the whole America's pissed off at these people. That's how everybody needs to talk. But you'll notice, and I've had this problem for 20 years now, what they're counting on are the people who are the green weenies, okay? And the green weenies, they want all of you to show up as bodies, but, well, we'll show them how impressed we are we're protesting, but don't do anything serious. If it looks like they're going to start killing people, we're all going to turn and scream with our hair on fire and our pants down. No, this is why in many cases a lot of people won't show up at events where, no, let's all wear blue jeans and boots, and remember, don't look scary to your enemy. Your enemy is supposed to be the scary one, and that way when they kill us, it'll look that much better for the propaganda the government's going to push. Whereas just the reverse should be the case. Now, as far as the issue of the provocateurs, this is my point. By quadranting the operation and by managing the manpower, again, are you known by? See, the Patriot community is actually a big family. So you do have people that are going to be asking, who is this person? Who are these people? Who's been in touch with them? Now, let's talk about what happened on the East Coast with the Browns. Remember what happened and how the Browns were taken?
Yeah, by a pizza, honest to God.
Yeah, but not only that, what happened there? Let's talk, because I pointed this out. You see, what happened is somebody started yapping about being politically correct. Somebody got pissy with somebody else because some of the people took being, deployed seriously. The people who didn't want anybody to take being deployed seriously turned out to be the people who had brought the pizza that was the last meal they had before they were grabbed by the people who, by the way, ordered the pizza. Remember?
Honest to goodness. It's been a while.
Okay, here's what happened.
I don't have television.
Okay, hold on. Here's what happened. Let me explain it to you in a nutshell. A whole bunch of people showed up. Lots of people showed up who thought, peace, love, dope. It's going to be an event. We'll go out there. We'll protest. Okay? Militia people did show up. There were local militia units that were quite organized, well organized, that showed up that people knew and everybody could track back their identity. Okay? But there were another group of people who started going, you shouldn't like those guys, and they don't look pretty. Those guys don't look pretty. Well, yeah, but we've known them for 20 years. I know who they are. Well, we're pretty. We got all the cool stuff, and they don't. And you need to them. And so what happened is people started to listen to the, they're not pretty routine, or they're not as couth as these other. Look, we're couth. And so what happened is they started driving people away, or, well, we don't want to do this, and we don't want to do that. And a lot of people are like, well, I'm not going in to risk my life so that I can be put on a sacrificial, spike. If I'm going in there as a combat unit. We're going to be prepared to fight. We're going to take seriously, security and patrolling. Well, what happened is all those people got pushed away, and the people who, remember when the Browns were on the porch there, everybody was getting along. There were a few other people who were there. We never did hear any more about what happened to the ones that were the regular people. But the group that was, telling everybody, saying all these other people, they're crazy. All these other people are stupid. Those were the feds. That's what happened. And they bought a pizza, and while they were all there enjoying the pizza, that's when they grabbed them. You see, now the same thing is going on right now. If all these commercial interests, all these commercial Patriot broadcasting operations, okay, in fact, they all got together and we're all rubbing each other's back there. The more you get into all like the corporate Savage Hannity and all, Beck and all that guys, you're over on the left side. You're so far around the corner, they're not going to be. They'll be talking about how, boy, you remember, it'll be so inspiring when they beat down the men and women and they're all disarmed and all the guys with the tasers and the clubs and the bludgeons come in. Boy, they were valiant and it was great. What's the next story? Well, what about deal? Oh, don't worry about that. They're all in prison now. They're all in jail. They all got busted or killed. It's okay. They were peaceful. They all made sure they didn't have pocket knives. They were very much TSA'd. They were all TSA'd to the nth degree. Everybody's, all in wearing T-shirts, and they look really politically correct. Basically what it means is that they really don't have any protection. Bulletproof body armor would be a nice thing. You can wear that under a T-shirt. But that's not what we're talking about. See, and again, you're already hearing that they're going to be a provocateur. Well, you know what? There probably was in 1775. What was wrong with that? Who was the guy that fired the shot at Lexington? Does anybody know? Was he a British Tory who was just trying to get the Patriot shot? Was he a Patriot deciding he had enough because he was, old enough that he knew if this thing went on, the bad guys were going to just smother the country with molasses? Yeah. Which was it? See, that instead just reverse. Boy, it sounds like... See, here's the thing. Repeat it this way when you talk to people. Boy, if they do have a provocateur, things can go to hell in a handcart, and everybody will start shooting their arse all over the place. Boy, that'd be bad for the Fed. They'd end up slaughtered. How about everybody gets some, check to see if those body parts are attached. Challenge these people to bring this up. I understand what you're talking about, and you've been around for quite some time, and we've had these discussions before. In this case, the idea is angsting about it is not how we do it. We go, okay, here's how do we deal with this situation? Now, one of the ways to do that, when you quadrant out your assets, your core unit are your 300. What do I mean by that? Well, everybody that's on that ranch knows everybody. Everybody that's in that community knows everybody. Now, what everybody in that community doesn't realize is probably 3 or 4 government-paid stooges there anyway, which nobody's really wanting to put their brain around yet, but that's what they do. They'll rah, rah, rah as long as it's where they can be peaceful. Let me remind you that when they had those protests up in Canada, remember the 3 cops that had the riot boots on that were in amongst the protesters? No. And when everybody pointed out and asked, hey, who are these guys really? Well, I don't know who they are. Remember they asked the other guys, are these guys with you? And the other protesters said, no, they're not with us. Then all of a sudden the cops moved in and slowly with big bulging, owl eyes, they slid in and they grabbed the guys, but they very carefully laid them on the ground and they handcuffed them to carry them away, the 3 provocateurs. But when they laid them down, the problem is the guys who were putting the cuffs on them, their boots were up, like laid back, when you drop down on one knee. And all the boots that the cops were wearing were the exact same 3 pairs of boots that the 3 provocateurs were wearing, complete with the same sole with the same yellow box on the bottom of the boot. They're a steel-toe police stomp boot that they make. So what you do is your Praetorian Guard, so to speak, or your core unit in a situation where you're bringing in many, many different formations, it protects the castle keep and it observes all other activity. But it means that everybody has to be intelligent in the process. If you have a core militia unit and you're bringing in other formations, we've had standoffs where we've had 500, 600, 700 people on the ground. Now, I'll guarantee, and we expect it. You don't think, oh my God, we can stop this. No, you expect it. But the difference is, you see, organization. Even the provocateur gets scared when they see organization, not a rabble, not a crowd. They're telling each other that there's a crowd here, we can herd them. That's why I said right from the get-go, you start thinking like men, thinking like adults.